you guys, I'm Melissa, and I'm here to train you about ITSY today.
Yay!
Okay, what is ITSY and why are we using it? Well, some people have chewing and problems swallowing, so that means some foods and drinks are a danger. Hi, welcome. I'm Melissa, and I'm training about ITSY. You're right on time.
Okay.
So, you know, people have chewing and swallowing difficulties, and that's why he'll record it for me, so he'll give it to you. You got an Apple phone? Oh, there we go. All right, so the, International Dysphagia, they have people from all over the world on different continents even. I'm waiting for that in so he can hear me on the phone. It's okay. So they came together with doctors, dietitians, speech therapists, and to see swallowing valves and different things of doctorate nature to come up with one way of mechanical soft parade type diets that everyone can be on the same page. The great thing is that everything is measurable. There is a test with forks, and for liquids there's a test with what's that thing called?
Syringe?
Syringe, thank you. I should have said, hey, what are we using for liquids? Syringes. So today I'm going to teach you more about the SB6 and the SB5 or the MM5s. What's that? The two different textures for mechanical softs that are starting in your home soon. Our building is tomorrow. So hospitals have been using it, other nursing homes have been using it already for about 10 years. So we need to get on this train. You can see on this board here the different levels of this triangle. So at the top is level 7. That is your regular traditional diet, level 7. They had an easy to chew, but we are not at Monarch using the easy to chew verbiage or that diet. So we're just using 7 as a regular, okay? And then a level 6 is now called soft and bite-sized level 6. That's the old mechanical soft. It's broken into a 6 and a 5. So soft and bite-sized, and then we have mixed and moist. That's the second mechanical soft diet. And then we still have the traditional parade. But there are some newer tests that you do because sometimes you can't tell with the consistency of a parade if it's the right consistency. So with ITSY, the training module that I'll be showing you today, you're going to know if it's the right consistency because there's tests to do to make sure it's right. Also, they're renaming thickened liquids, okay? So traditionally on this triangle, the pudding thick diet is now called, or liquids, pudding thick liquids is now called extremely thick. And then we have our honey thick liquids are called moderately thick. And then our nectar thickened is now called mildly thick. And then we have thick. There was one more number, a number 1, but that's more for baby formula, and we're not doing that here. So we're just keeping with the 4, 3, 2, 0. The extremely thick, moderate, and mild. So all pink thickened liquids, as you can see in this area right here, pink means nectar, which is mildly thick. Yellow means moderately thick, which is honey thick. And pudding, you basically have to make pudding thickened liquids. I'm ordering Simply Thick thickener to come tomorrow for items that don't come already pre-thickened. The Simply Thick product is better to mix it than the powder. There'll be more consistency. You can boil things when you use Simply Thick and it will stay. It doesn't get thicker or thinner. It stays the same. If you can freeze things with Simply Thick. You can freeze things with Simply Thick, and when you thaw it, it'll still be the same thick. So, Emma, we'd like you to join us. All right. So, that's a little bit about thickened liquids. All right. So, the biggest thing I wanted to talk about is the difference between a 6 and a 5. So, a 6 is now called SB because what's the SB soft?
Soft and bite-sized.
Bite size. And a 5 is called MM because it's called MM5 and SB6. Like the initials are in front of the number, but the M and M is
Mr. Moist.
Alright, so the biggest difference in these textures compared to today. Today, your mechanical soft, you just throw this stuff in and you chop it, and you're like, yeah, it's better than what it was. I think it's fine. There's no way to measure it. Sometimes they complain. You mechanicalize that so much, it's a parade. Well, guess what? That stops today. So, the difference between a 6 and a 5. Your 6 mechanical soft sinks, you're going to be chopping everything to the level of the outside of the fork for each side. Does that make sense? No. On this little page here, everybody gets an orange book. Everything.
Like your vegetables, even though you think,
your
oh,
vegetables,
these are super soft,
your
they still
canned
need to be
fruits,
touched.
everything has to be chopped moving forward for
Your
a 5 and a
pasta,
6.
like if you have spaghetti, it's got to be cut to that.
Yep, it's called SB6 and then MM5. So, if you go in your orange book, there is a square that shows you the exact size for the number 6. And then there's a fork here with the actual size of what a MM5 is. Okay? So, again, the 6 is the outside of the fork all the way around. And, no, it's a 6, sorry, all the way around. And a 5 is in between each tine. So each one of these little 4 things are called a tine. If you didn't know that, I learned that. So it's in between that. That's how small a 5 has to be. Not only does it have to be that size, but you have to be able to push this fork down into the food, into the mechanical 5 and the mechanical 6, whatever, soft and bite-sized 6 and mixed and moist 5. You have to be able to push it down onto the plate without having to chop it. You have to be able to push it down. The tip of your fingernail can get white, but you don't want to be like almost breaking the fork trying to get the fork through. I had a really good example the other day with Doshan Lee, the night cook. She was cooking some ground beef, and she was chopping it while she's cooking, and she's like, I used to give this to mechanicals. What do you think? I said, perfect example, let's play. So we did the fork. I said, look, it's the right size, but can you take the fork and push it down? She tried, and she's like, no. So that means you have to take it to the grinder, okay? If you don't have one of these ninjas, you're gonna want one. Do you have one?
Yep.
Good, because
Well,
I've played
exactly
with
like
it,
that.
and I've realized it's nice because it has this chopped button, okay? The chopped button. So if you have to help get this fruit ready for an MM5, well, first we're gonna do a 6. Wait, I'm gonna talk about what we have to omit. I forgot to talk about that. So mechanical softs, you already know, don't get like corn or peas because of the shell on the outside. They also shouldn't get things like grapes or cherries. You'll see in the fruit cocktail.
What about the grounded one? The constant can be grounded?
Nope, they're not getting that anymore. No more. On the spreadsheets, on corn days, you're not going to see cream corn anymore.
Okay.
You're going to see a different vegetable on the spreadsheets for the MM6 and the MM5. So once I get your black book updated today, that's your Bible.
Are you listening? You did?
Yeah, it just needs to be queen.
Yeah.
And Annie.
Trying to show me stuff on the walk back, but I'm listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the level, I don't forget where I was now. Things that you're omitted. Skins. You don't want any skins when you're doing an MM5 or MM6, okay? So even like, let's say Polish sausage is on. You gotta de-skin that before you can chop it because you don't want those skins in there. Maybe you want to do something different if you don't have the time to skin it. But I got really good at skinning ring bologna when I was a cook.
Does not sound like fun.
Yeah, it was
So
me.
we are the same to do the
For
same
you,
thing, or?
if you have to pray, because you're an aide, if you have to make a SB6 pears, you can't open up the can no more and just give a mechanical soft pears. You now have to chop it. So either
I think the cook people will do
the
it
cook
for
is
us.
usually going to do that, but what if nobody else is able to do it and they're asking you to do it, Emma? You have to know how. So I'm gonna show you, yes.
Because
What about,
I
I
think
think
this
I
one
read
for
someplace, but
because we are
rice.
the same.
Yes, let's talk about all the items that are gonna be different.
That's
Okay.
what people supposed to do for us.
Do this with sprayers.
Right, number 6, these are the
Yeah.
things to avoid. Mixed and thin, thick textures. So what you're doing is soup, for instance, with pieces of food and cold cereal with milk, you are no longer giving that to a 6 or a 5. So a regular soup is a no-no for both groups, right? No. What you're gonna do is soup, you're gonna cook it, you're gonna strain it, keep the juice to the side. You're gonna take the guts is what I call it. You're gonna chop it to a 6 or maybe even just a 5 to make it easier. Then you're gonna take the juice and thicken it to whatever is the lowest of the people getting it. So if you have one honey person, just go ahead and make it all honey, the juice. And then if it's nectar, just go ahead and make it all nectar. You don't have to have 2, just make it the lowest one.
So the juice
And then you fold it together into the guts. We are no longer gonna be pouring liquids or even thickened liquids like gravy on top of meat. That is the old-fashioned way of mechanical soft, and that world is over now. We have to have it blended in with the meats and other items. So like if you have a casserole, let's say you have tuna casserole, you actually have to take the whole casserole because the noodles are bigger than this. You might be able to push them, but it's bigger. So you gotta chop it to be smaller than this.
I think they will use that.
For a 5, and a 5 has to be in between here, and a 6 has to be, the outside.
Does that make sense to you?
Melissa, so now they are not using blender to chop the mechanical soft food anymore.
They're gonna strain it, chop it, thicken the liquid, put it all together. So it's a different way.
Because
And it sounds like a lot right now, but the more you do it, the quicker you're gonna get at it.
And even if they're not technically a thick liquid, we still do it, right?
Yeah, you still want it at least probably a nectar, because you can't have like, you see how this has juice coming? You cannot have that happen with a 5 or a 6 anymore either. You can't have the liquids coming off onto the plate. No more.
Did you see the videos?
No, nobody here watched the videos.
Okay.
So, all right,
So there should be no
Wait.
liquids pooling out of that product.
none of it, not anymore, because you're gonna separate it, chop the guts of anything, and then whatever, thicken the liquid, makes it by like folding it in together nicely. You don't want to pour it in while you're still mechanicalizing, because then you're gonna end up with a puree. But I tell everybody, if you're unsure what you're doing, it's okay to give them a puree, because it's better than them choking. Okay? All right, some other things you're gonna avoid. So cold cereal. These guys are not getting cold cereal anymore. And at my buildings, I don't even say. Because technically, you could soak the cold cereal in milk, wait for it to get soft, strain the milk, chop up the cereal, thicken up the milk, pour it in, mix it in. Like, who has time for that? And how many kinds of cold cereals do we have? I don't know about you, but this building has 6. So, we're not giving the 5 and the 6 or a 4 cold cereal ever. Only the number 7s are getting cold cereal. Only a 7. And it's going to be on their ticket. I redid their tickets, so it reflects. Also, oatmeal. Now, cream of wheat and grits, when I get to the puree level of how it has to fall off of the spoon, like the moisture of it all, it still has to slide. It cannot be dry. When you're holding a spoon and you go like this, it has to kind of come off. Not drip off, but just come off. It can't stick to the spoon where you have to do this to get it off. Okay? It has to like kind of fall off. So, your oatmeal has to be the same way for a 6, 5, and a 4. And your grits and your cream of wheat. Now, oats, the way they come and the way they chunk up, you are going to have to puree oatmeal every day when oatmeal's on for a 6, 5, and a 4. And you're gonna have to do the test when you hold the spoon before you serve. Is it coming off nicely or is it sticking to the spoon? Because you know, as oatmeal sits, it gets thicker and thicker. So right before service, you can add your brown sugar, some butter, and milk as you puree it to kind of get that consistency going nice and smooth. Test it a little bit. See if it's hot, if you're putting your milk in, and how long is it taking to re-thick again. You know, you can get a pattern, you can really zone in and do a good job. Like, you can perfect it when you're a cook every day, but I don't cook that much anymore, so I can't tell you how long it's gonna take for it to re-thicken. So, another item, raw salads, fruits, and vegetables. They're not getting any of them. Not even if we chop them. They can only get canned fruits. The frozen fruits, they come like soft once they're thawed, as long as it don't have skin. And if you can do the chopping to a 6 and a 5 to the level of consistency and push the fork. You have to do everything with the test. If the test passed, then it's okay, with no skin. Does that help your memory a little bit? Oh, I had another culinary director